I laughed when I saw Donald Trump put up on his social media posting about how he's reshaped the media landscape, the corporate media landscape, all because of him. And I suspected things must not be going well for him in the 6 or so cases he has against corporate media for defamation around the country. And I was right. We got new reporting, everybody, that the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and all 12 judges of it have rejected not one vote in favor of Donald Trump, have rejected his efforts to overturn a Trump-appointed judge who in 2023 threw out his case against CNN because they said all of his malarkey about losing because of some sort of election fraud was nothing more than the big lie. Donald Trump didn't like having it labeled the big lie. He didn't like that they called him Hitler-like, and he sued for defamation. Well, Judge Singal in Southern District of Florida and Miami said all of those comments are nothing more than opinion and they are not actionable in defamation. That went up on appeal all the way to the 11th Circuit. The 11th Circuit refused to reverse Judge Singal. Donald Trump didn't like it. He asked the entirety of the 11th Circuit, all 12 active members judges, to overturn the decision of the 3-judge panel and rule in his favor, and he couldn't even get a vote. I'll update you on that and all the other cases that Donald Trump has, none of them going particularly well for him here on the Midas Touch Network. Let's get right into it. While you're here on Midas Touch, now more than ever, we need your support on Legal AF YouTube channel. Hit the free subscribe button. Help us continue to grow that pro-democracy channel. Okay, let's get to the CNN part of this story first. Donald Trump currently has cases against, get this, CNN, the New York Times, the Des Moines Register, the Wall Street Journal, the BBC, all of that. None of them going particularly well for him. CNN is a perfect example. He sues down in Florida, his favorite home venue. He gets a judge that he appointed, Judge Singal. Judge Singal tosses the case. He says, what's the defamation? They called it the big lie that I was running on a big lie that there was election fraud. All right, well, that's an opinion. And under our defamation laws, opinion is not actionable for defamation. It's somebody's opinion. I think you're exactly like Hitler. How do you prove that you're not? I mean, you're obviously not Hitler, but it's my opinion that you're Hitler-like. Again, not defamation. He didn't like it, so he went to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals and a 3-judge panel ruled against him. He didn't like that, so he went to the entirety of the 11th Circuit. And as a result, he was waiting to see if he could get 7 votes out of 12 to take the case what's called on bunk, meaning the IT becomes the entire panel 12 to rehear the case. It throws out the appellate decision below by the 3-judge panel, and they make a new ruling. He couldn't even get 1 vote for that. Is that a shock to you? So then I laughed when I saw that he posted, President Trump is reshaping the media. He always talks about himself in the third person. And he has this chart. We'll put it up on there. Gone in reforms. He puts PBS defunded, NPR defunded, Terry Moran out at ABC, Joy Reid out at MSNBC, Lester Holt out at NBC, massive layoffs at the Washington Post, Chuck Todd out, Colbert leaving, big decline in ratings, Jim Acosta out, John Dickerson out. All right, look, so crazy. Donald Trump has attacked and squeezed journalists and corporate media by squeezing their corporate parents and making them say uncle or at least President Trump, and paying tithes and tribute to him in order to get regulatory approvals for other things. That's why ABC, because George Stephanopoulos called Donald Trump a rapist instead of a sex abuser in interviewing Eugene Carroll, who got a case in which he was adjudged to be a sex abuser. That's why they paid $16 million, because ABC worries about, along with Jimmy Kimmel, all of their broad TV stations that make up the ABC network, besides the parent company, and those are owned by a lot of right-wing television station owners, and they're trying to do a merger. So they want to settle the deal, and they want to pay Donald Trump $16 million so they can do their transaction. That's what happened there. Another $16 million paid by CBS, but only after Donald Trump's buddies, Larry Ellison, who owns Oracle, got his greedy little hands through his son on CBS, related to 60 Minutes in a Claw Harris interview. Another $16 million, yeah. And now that same group, the Ellison Group, about to acquire what? Yes, CNN. So Donald Trump is trying to keep that CNN case alive because he's hoping that the Ellison family buys it when they buy the Warner Brothers assets now that Netflix has dropped out, and he'll get another $16 million payment from Friends, right? There'll be no more adversary. But for right now, that case is dead as a doorknob. So if they're going to be paying money to him, they're going to have to admit it's not because there's a live case. I'm Michael Popak, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popak Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popo Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years. So my own law firm, organically building on my Legal AF work, just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So, if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment, harassment, or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Pope Firm today at 1877 Popak AF, or by visiting my website at www.thepopfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popo Firm fighting for your justice every step of the way. I mean, this is the reason that we at Legal AF and Midas Touch are not affiliated with corporate media, where we're not owned by a corporate parent, right? We are independent. We will do nothing that will destroy our independence. Nobody will change our point of view. Nobody will take away our First Amendment rights. Nobody will change our narrative, our editorial control. No one. Now, let's go through the other cases that are out there. New York Times, remember that case? The New York Times ran a series of articles criticizing Donald Trump and his father, Fred Trump's business practices, including suggesting that many of them were fraudulent or arranged to avoid paying taxes. That case in the Middle District of Florida in Sarasota was already dismissed once by a judge. They had to refile the whole case, and there's motions to dismiss that are currently pending, which, having reviewed them, they look pretty strong. The Wall Street Journal, remember that one, published a article about the fact that Donald Trump, in Volume 2 of the Epstein birthday book when he turned 50, a leather-bound scrapbook made by Galen Maxwell that he had in a submission, which was like a naughty pornographic picture cartoon of a woman with some comments and a signature in the pubic hair region. That book, released by the Epstein estate, is part of the Democratic Oversight Committee release as well. Donald Trump's still complaining that the Wall Street Journal published it. That's pending before Judge Gales, where I live in Miami in the Southern District of Florida. There's a motion to dismiss that's been pending since December. I think he's going to lose that, and I'll come back and report on that to you as well. The BBC has a case in the Southern District of Florida. That one is moving towards a court-ordered mediation. Mediation being the two parties meet with a neutral who can make recommendations, can facilitate a settlement discussion, but can't make binding rulings. I know the mediator they've selected, a former judge, Judge John Thornton, phenomenal judge on the Miami-Dade Circuit Court originally, now works for a mediation company called JAMS. And Judge, if somebody's going to get it settled, Judge Thornton is as good as anybody. So that's going to go the BBC. And that had to do with the Jan 6th ellipse speech in which Donald Trump told his people, "I will see you down there." And then, of course, he went the other way and back to the White House. And then you've got the case related to the Des Moines Register in Iowa when its pollster and Seltzer said that Donald Trump was going to lose by, 7 or 8 points, and he ended up beating Claw Harris by 7 or 8 points. Oh my God. Ann Seltzer, biased, came out in polling. By the way, Ann Seltzer retired from polling after that. She so got the electorate's mood wrong in the polling that she's like, I'm out. So, but yet and he won Iowa, and he said, but he's such a sore loser. He's still going after the Des Moines Register on that case. The judge has stopped all discovery, which is the exchange of information and documents in a case, until he rules on the motion to dismiss in favor of the Des Moines Register and in Seltzer, which I think he's going to win. The point of this overview is that when Donald Trump tells you that he's controlling all media, he sounds like Howard Stern, the king of all media. Something's probably gone terribly wrong for him in his cases, like what just happened with CNN. And the only reason he's trying to keep that CNN case alive is to give the new owners, who are likely to be the Ellison family, so some sort of cover, some sort of fig leaf to settle, use shareholder money to do it, because this is shareholder money, right? I mean, some of these companies are public companies. They're fiduciaries for the shareholders and give them a cover. So Donald Trump, and personally, this is a personal case. This doesn't go to the national treasury. All of these amounts, the 16 million CBS, ABC, maybe future CNN, where is that going? That's going to Donald Trump particularly, maybe to his library fund, although we can't find the library money. It's been shifting from one bank account to the next. I'll continue to follow all of these moving parts in all of these courts in Florida, in Iowa, and other places. One place, Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. Take a moment, hit the free subscribe button. Help us to continue to grow this pro-democracy channel, right? We need your help. We need your help. We need your resources. This is the place to do it. Midas Touch Legal AF. Hit the subscribe button, and we will continue to bring you our independent commentary. Until my next report, this is Michael. Can't get your fill of Legal AF? Me neither. That's why we formed the Legal AF Substack. Every time we mention something in a hot take, whether it's a court filing or an oral argument, come over to the Substack. You'll find the court filing and the oral argument there, including a daily roundup that I do called, wait for it, Morning AF. What else? All the other contributors from Legal AF are there as well. We got some new reporting, we got interviews, we got ad-free versions of the podcast and hot takes. We're Legal AF on Substack. Come over now to free subscribe.